we realize, when you see guys like Cheney, and I don't want to get into it too much. I know Michael and Matt talked about it yesterday, but what's stunning is that there just seems to be zero appetite in the corporate media to contextualize the Iraq war, particularly when you're talking about guys like Cheney and Wolfowitz and Pearl. The notion of talking about the Project for a New American Century has, I don't know, as if it was a completely irrelevant to the mindset of these people that got us into Iraq. And in fact, it is one of the most important documents, I think, that you can read if you want to get a sense of what their broad agenda was and what their strategic plans were. Dick Cheney went from 1994 in an interview, taped interview, which you can find easily, explaining what would happen if we were to topple Saddam Hussein. He was saying this in relationship to Bushy I's invasion of Iraq, or I should say war with Iraq. That calculus did not change. The value of what was to follow in Cheney's mind did change. And you can understand why the value of that changed if you read what these guys were writing in the late 90s, and it's all spelled out for you there. And it's not conspiratorial. It is, to the extent that, they all wrote this together, I guess you could say it was a conspiracy. But the reality is they had a theory about the United States becoming a hyperpower. And everything that took place in terms of the Iraq war, and even the outcome now, still, I believe in their assessment is ultimately a net gain to achieve what they were talking about in the late 90s. I guess my point is that this is not stuff that you hear on the corporate media. And if you think there's any value to it, support this program.